Maker movement is technology that you use with your skills in tech and craft. Often it is technology that you can interact with and give commands to. A few things that we do for Maker movement include Maker Junior, Makey Makey, Sphero, and 3D printer. In the middle of the school year, our class had a visitor come in from Maker Junior. She taught us all about circuits. Our first project we did with Maker Junior and her younger buddies were Christmas cards that would light up with just one press. After a successful time with her, we decided to do another one. This time we did question cards that would light up when you pressed the answer. These projects were very successful, fun, and educational. I would recommend to do Maker Junior in your class. Just a few weeks ago, our teacher, Shauna, kindly ordered 2 Makey Makey sets. Makey Makey is a computer board created by 2 people, John Silver and Eric Rosebaum. What Makey Makey does is really cool. You can play any game from online with anything, such as vegetables and fruit. So what you do is you hook it up from the Makey Makey board to the wires. For example, when you hook up the USB to your computer, and then you hook it up to the vegetables, you can play piano. Sphero is another thing that we now have in our class. It's an electrical ball that you can move around with an iPad, change its color, make it do figure eights and other things. The other really cool thing you can do with Sphero is build and create ramps and jumps for it. You can also record whatever you're doing with the app that you download. Sphero is a really creative piece of technology that people can imagine things with. This is an example of Sphero. Video was recorded from the app itself, so what we did to record it is the iPad, and then you controlled it while videotaping it, so it was really cool.
Did you do the broccoli video?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you found that one online. I didn't realize that was you.
At the beginning of the school year, our class was really interested with 3D printers. So we arranged for a 3D printer expert to come into our class and demonstrate and talk to us about how 3D printers work. He would insert a chip with a design for an object, then melted plastic would come out from the nozzle and create the shape within a period of time. For example, an object he did took 40 minutes. He demonstrated making a Minecraft creeper and an owl. I found the 3D printer very fascinating, and I would recommend to have someone who was interested in them come into your class and talk about them. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned lots about Maker Movement.
Thank you so much. And like Fiona's posted here, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can tweet at us. You can go on our blog. We also have the Today's Meet Today if you want to add anything here. Just so you know, these presentations were completely generated by the students. I asked who was interested in coming to present. These guys all volunteered. We went over some success criteria of about a 5-minute presentation. Not a lot of text on slides, those kind of things, but then they just completely took this and ran with it. So you can see we had all sorts of different types of presentations, and that was completely them. Before this morning, I'd only seen a couple of the slideshows, so some of this was brand new to me as well. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask these guys? Maybe, Vicky, if you want to just pick people?
This is really neat. I'm a secondary guy, and it was neat to kind of see it from the primary perspective, and especially the presentations. High school students have way too much text on the slide. That was amazing. Please keep doing that, even when you go to high school.
Does somebody want to just tell, sorry, what's your name? Colin. Does somebody want to tell Colin about what our sort of presentation idea is, Fiona?
So last year at the end of the year we did a thing called Ignite, and what it is it's that's what we based our slideshows off of. It's like a 20 page slideshow, and you only have a minimum of like 5 pieces of text per slideshow, and you only have a limited amount of time to present.
And so there are these Ignite conferences all over the world where you can watch. It's just a 5-minute slideshow, and then we sort of base our slideshow presentation methods on that. You can pick somebody else.
Hi, I think you and the Blue talked a little bit about coding earlier. Yeah. So, what I have a diploma in computer science before this, so I'm just wondering, what do you mean coding? So, are you code in the classroom through specific software, or?
Well, we use Code Academy.
Code Academy, is that an app?
No, it's a website.
It's a website.
And it's really cool because you can create your own website about anything you want, or anything. There was, I don't think,
Code.org.
Code.org, yeah, it's like a not as advanced one, like Code Academy is really for the older people.
Okay.
Code.org is really simple and easy, but I don't know what code is using on this.
Are you actually using a programming language?
Yeah.
C or C++?
Yeah, there's Yellows likes Python. These guys use JavaScript, HTML. There's a whole bunch of different choices. I am not a computer programming person at all, but this code.org. Did anyone do the hour of code this year? Okay, so next year it'll come up again. It's in the fall, and there's this awesome. Code.org puts that on. There's this awesome video they show about like why people should be coding and all these different people, like a basketball player talking about coding and things like that. And then there's all these little 1-hour coding tutorials, and millions of people around the world did them during that hour of code. But we enjoyed it so much we wanted to share it with our little buddies. So code.org is great for that. They use Angry Birds, Plants vs. Zombies. You can do little things. And then Code Academy is a little bit more formalized, and you just work your way through lessons. But on both of them, you can pick the programming language that you want to use.
So you recommend start with Code Academy?
Maybe code.org for just a 1-hour tutorial.
Yeah.
And lots of you guys did it faster than an hour, right? Yeah. So code.org would be a great place to start, and then Code Academy, start an account and work your way through it. Vic, you can go ahead.
Just a question. Do you ever have parents that don't want pictures on the internet?
No. We do not have them a lot at Churchill, but there is some classes that do have that. So you just gotta make sure that you keep your kids very aware in the class that some kids around the school and in your class do not have media permission. And in our class, we work specifically on asking people before they take their picture and post it on the internet.
Generally, what I found is I've been blogging and tweeting for several years with students. So I just direct parents to what my blog and my Twitter account look like, and it reduces the anxiety at the beginning of the year. They started at first to feel like I don't want my child on the internet, and then I show them the implementation of it. They feel more comfortable. So please, I mean, if you're wanting to get started, please feel free to share our stuff because they'll see it's nothing sinister, and we like to keep them both open. We don't make you have to log in with a password because I get so much, and the students get so much out of other people's Twitter accounts and blogs that I would hate to block it all. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I use WordPress to blog for my classroom, and in WordPress you can password protect individual posts. So I would choose one password for the whole year, same password, just for the photo with the posts of the children, on this field trip or whatever. And it remembers that password every time you go back to the site, so you only have to enter it once, and then the parents feel just protected from strangers, but they can still see the pictures of their kids.
Cool.
Works really well. And I never had, 6 years, never had a parent say no to photographs on the blog. Sometimes I take a phone call, just say, oh, this is what we're doing, is it okay? You know, I really hope you reconsider. And they always do.
Just like to thank everybody. I have a newsletter called the Tech Talks, and I think a lot of you folks have contributed to that. And the number of people who have written to me and your articles have come in is just astounding, and they can't believe it's the work of a bunch of kids in school that put together. They kind of thought maybe we set you up. But frankly, it put me to shame. So thank you everybody for I don't know how many people have contributed. Is everybody here?
Yeah.
Each of them presented, yeah,
Wonderful.
we have a hangout on air, so I can send you the link to that, so you can
Okay.
watch the presentation. I've never met Dave before, actually.
You waved across.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
So, yeah, I just trying to run around and see as many presentations as possible. But anyway, I just wanted, I would be remiss in giving thank you for all the work and to your teacher as well. It's,
Thank you for
amazing
giving us the
cross-section.
chance. It's been really cool.
Regarding the philanthropic activities, so
Yes.
you're saying groups of you do it in class? So it's not a class activity, it's a group activity?
Well,
Or-
It really depends. Like sometimes, for example, we often get Kiva money back, and then we decide who we're going to lend on via a vote from different people that each student has selected, or groups of students. Sometimes it's individual individual students or individual groups. Like me and Hunter did that hot chocolate club thing that I mentioned. It really is depending on the thing. Leadership. We also have a leadership club in our school that Chana leads, and we've done lots of stuff. And there's a few projects that the whole club is doing, and there's a few projects that individual groups in the club are doing. So it really either works.
So in your class, you have, let's say, a number of various groups of students working on different fundraising activities?
Yes.
Especially in leadership club, we have all different projects going on. In class, we do Kiva as a class. So this is sort of our Kiva profile page.
So in class, you do class.
In class, we do it as a class, yeah. And then leadership club at small group. But like Pat and Hunter have both taken initiative on their own to do different projects. Gabby last year fundraised to have a field trip to go visit another kind of more needy school. So a lot of them kind of just get inspired and do something on their own. But if we're doing it in class, so far we've been doing it all sort of as a group. Somebody asked a great question, and maybe these guys can answer it and kind of talk about the process, but somebody asked about, do you have suggestions for ways to implement some of these ideas in schools where we only have access to a computer lab? Sky?
Well, I'd say that originally first at Churchill we only had the computer lab, which I think most schools probably have a computer lab, if not anything else. So I think a good way to implement those is trying to use the websites that we recommended, because they're all, except for the apps, but they all should be able to be used in the computer lab. You still can go on Twitter and stuff, but I think you can sign up for a lot of these on the internet, just like you can go on Pinterest on your iPhone or iPad, but you can also do it on the computer if you want to. So.
What were you going to say, Maddie?
The only reason we got the Chromebooks is because Shauna went to a Google conference and she heard about a grant that if you apply for it, you could get Chromebooks. So try and find different grants, and if you find one, apply for it.
We also started out with, this is my personal iPad, this is Isaac. So I tried to find a case that was nice and sturdy, and I found this and brought Isaac in. We started using it as a class and realized this is an amazing tool. Then we petitioned to the principal, and now every class in our school has an iPad. So there is that money in the schools. It's how it's being allocated, and once you start having examples of it working really positively, more and more people start to buy in. Like now with the Chromebooks, we've run how many workshops for other classes?
3, 4.
I think we're 4 or 5 now. So we've had other classes come in, the low grade ones, and they've created slideshows and a Twitter account and things like that. Pat, what were you going to say?
I think that you can pretty much do all you can do on Chromebooks, and computers are very similar, except Chromebooks I find are a bit more effective because they're faster, a bunch of other stuff. But yes, you can pretty much implement all these things except for the apps on iPads in the computer lab, except they will be a bit less effective because you only have a certain amount of time in the computer lab per week, so yeah.
Do you have one more to that?
I also have like this one other thing that our classes now, well, TU, which is another grade 5-6 class in the school, we're trying to get 50 more Chromebooks for our school on a CSD website, and we're in the top 25, so we're still eligible for the 50 Chromebooks. And vote if you can.
I'll tweet out the link for that. I think there's more voting this week. We've just really fallen in love with the Chromebooks, and they're cheap. They're easy to take care of. They're only like $200 or $300 each compared to an iPad, which is what, $500 to $700 really. And we have, I mean, if you're interested in any more details about any of this stuff, we have posted on our blog the acceptable use policy, all the paperwork that's gone home with families. Each of these students is responsible for their own Chromebook. So if something happens when they are taking care of it, it's on them and their family. We haven't had any problems yet with them. Any more questions that we can address?
The Chromebook thing, is this an ongoing competition? I actually just had a teacher email me saying, ask her how I can help, what I need to do if you have we have a teacher in our school who's very technologically engaged, and he's got like a couple of old laptops running Ubuntu, and then he's got a couple of SIA computers and a couple of netbooks that he's putting Ubuntu onto as well because it works faster, and he really wants to get in on this. How does that?
Okay, so you can get free computers for your classroom, computers for schools. I don't know if you all know this. It's refurbished computers, so that would be, and they're just always looking for classrooms. So try computers for schools.
Drops for those though?
Probably, yes.
He's already got all his drops are full.
Perfect. Okay, so the Chromebook grant, I went to the GAFE Summit in Montreal, so it's coming to Ottawa. It's sold out, but you might be able to get on a wait list. It's Google Apps for Education, and that's run by EdTech team. 5% of all their net proceeds goes back into putting devices into the hands of teachers and students. So that's what we applied for. I was away on, I was on a week of leave, but the students put together a video of how Chromebooks could change our learning. They sent that in collaboratively, we wrote the application, and then 2 months later we had the set. So you do have to attend a GAFE conference to be eligible to apply for that. The grant that we're applying for right now is through Canadian Scholarship Trust, CST, and that's like, did you see the Aviva thing? The Aviva project, a school in Ottawa won it for a playground. It's like a crowd, it's not a crowdfunding, you get votes online, and then you can get money. So we're up for a possibility of $20, $10, or $5,000. So I mean, it takes some additional work and research, but it is possible. And I mean, we've had such success with them that I'm happy to use us as an example and say, like, if you can push your schools. Cost set of them is $9,000, which is a lot for an initial investment, but way less than even laptops. Like Sky was saying with the SIA laptop, it's about $1,000. So.
Just to piggyback on what you were saying about the drops, we had the same issue at our school, and when scientists in schools, and the laptops are not free, you have to buy them. They're super cheap, like $65 or $70 a piece, which we didn't have. The other option was the towers, which are free. There was no network card in them. The scientists, computer schools, they will sell you a wireless key, and they're $20 a piece. So we had all these towers. In my classroom, I got 6 towers, had them reformatted using Windows 7, plug the keys in, and then you have 7 wireless computers. That's a cheap option for your colleague. Get the towers are free, get the keys at $20 a pop.
Okay.
Patty?
You could also use crowdfunding. Like, you would probably have to come up with a really good reason if you want people to give you money. And I don't really know what you could do for, like, rewards. Yeah, like, you know how on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, there's, like, if you pay a certain amount of money, you get blah, blah, blah. But there's definitely some opportunity in crowdfunding.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as you were talking. Actually. Yeah, like you said, Kickstarter, they usually offer some incentive to donate, like you're the first one to get the product or whatever. Although some people just go on and randomly ask if they want to go on a trip and they want to blog about it. So.
There is an organization in the U.S. I don't know if it's come here yet. It's DonorsChoose.org, and it's for people to donate to classroom projects. Like, it's specifically for that. I don't think we have the Canadian site yet, but it would be a really great thing to kind of
keep bugging them about, like bring it to Canada, because lots of people get books for their classrooms. I've seen people get a 3D printer. If you're interested in a 3D printer, this comes in for free. It's Luc Lalonde, and it's called the Community 3D Printer, and it was really cool. So, anyway, please feel free to contact us. Thank you so much to these guys for their hard work. Come over here and say goodbye to all of our viewers.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Here, well, these viewers too,
Bye,
online
one
viewers
viewer.
too.
Bye.
Who's probably my father? That's doing.
Goodbye, online viewers.
Live streaming on a
Bye, one viewer.
Peace. Saved on YouTube.
Wow.
Or anyone who ends up watching this later. If you ever watch it later, bye. Who watched it?
Yeah. Well, say
Bye,
goodbye.
anyone who watched it. Oh, wait. We're the one viewer.
What?
You're the one viewer.
Just so you can get your face. No. Voice at 0 viewers.
One viewer? You.
Listen before it's
And
at
that's
0
what they are in
viewers.
school now, like,
So.
Anyway, if you're watching this later, bye.
Bye.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know how many people read the text lines every week?
You told us, Sean.
Yeah. I think it goes to about 5,000 people, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how many of those 5,000 read it.
Actually.
Okay, so you say goodbye?
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Bye.